now something you're only going to see on Fox and Friends, an exclusive interview. That man sat down with the brand new VA Secretary Dr. David Shulkin.
Yeah, it's a good one. Pete Hegseth got a one-on-one interview with the man tasked with fixing a system still recovering from a deadly wait time scandal.
That's right. No, it was a great opportunity. We appreciate the opportunity to sit down with the secretary. He was only 6 days on the job, so within his first week, this is a guy tackling the second largest bureaucracy in the federal government, charged by Donald Trump with a 10-point plan to fix the VA.
No pressure.
An ambitious plan, and he's going to have to take on the swamp to do it. So we sat him down and said, let's ask you some of the tough questions, because when you get to Washington, where you already are, you're going to need to have answers to them, and you're going to need to be ready to go. So this is what Secretary Shulkin told us on Fox and Friends. So who is David Shulkin, and why are you the man for this job?
Well, I'm a physician by background, and that's really what defines me. In fact, I still see patients. I see them at the VA, and that's my passion.
Some have pointed out that you're the first non-veteran to have served, to be the VA secretary. How would you answer those critics?
Well, I'm very respectful when I hear that, and I consider this my greatest professional honor to be able to look after our country's veterans. But when I talk to veterans, and I've had an opportunity since I've been in VA for 18 months, when I talk to them about what they want from a leader, they want somebody who's committed to fixing the system and making it better for them.
You were a part of the Obama-Bob McDonnell administration on this. What do you say to viewers that say, Secretary Shulkin's just the swamp?
I came at a time of crisis, when the VA was in crisis, and I came to help fix the system. I've been in the private sector my whole life running big hospital systems, and I came to help fix things.
How do you drain the swamp at VA?
Well, I made clear to the Congress, and going through the confirmation process, that if they expect the VA to be fixed, they have to give the Secretary the authority to be able to fix it and hold the Secretary accountable. And that's what I really expect. And so I'm working now closely with the Congress, both the House and the Senate, to be able to make sure that we have an accountability bill that allows us to make sure that if people shouldn't be working in the VA, they won't be working in the VA.
But I could be fired right now. I mean, well, half of our viewers could be fired when they walk into work tomorrow for not doing their job or not showing up. But you've got VA workers who sell cocaine or don't show up or view porn at work.
Watch us. People who don't show up to work, who do cocaine and are watching porn at work are going to be fired, because I'm not going to tolerate it, and they're going to be out of our system.
The one thing that sticks out to me as an advocate of reform is the VA will not be privatized. Privatization is the straw man, oftentimes, that is built of reformers, right?
A veteran deserves the very best health care anywhere. So that means sometimes they should go out into the private sector if something's being done better than the VA. So
what I'm make that choice?
The veteran. And what I'm looking to do is to build a system of what I call an integrated system of care. The best of VA, the best of the private sector, the veterans able to take advantage of both systems.
What powers do you need to make sure it runs like a private sector hospital so that it can compete, so that veterans want to go to the VA?
Well, this is what I'm working with members of Congress on and working with the President on, to make sure we have that ability. So our budgeting, we need greater flexibility. When I ran a hospital...
Does that mean more money?
No, that does not mean more money.
Because we've heard a lot about more money and how more money is going to fix this.
No, I'm not talking about more money. I'm talking about the ability to use the money that we currently have in a way that we can shift it to where the greatest needs are.
You're sitting in arguably one of the toughest positions in Washington, D.C. You got a 100-0 vote, but the first time you propose something real, the swamp's going to react. They're going to fight back. The unions, the Democrats, the Republicans, whoever doesn't like it. Are you prepared for that moment?
And I have to tell you, I do not experience my discussions with members of Congress that way. When you're talking about veteran issues, veterans aren't Republicans or Democrats. They are purebred patriotic Americans, and actually members of Congress treat veteran issues that way.
The IG recently did another review of health care and wait times, and the recognition of the IG, even in January of 2017, was what, with all the billions spent, with the 2 years since the scandal, wait times have barely improved, in fact, gotten worse in some places.
Our focus has been not on the number of patients waiting, because quite frankly, there are some people waiting for routine exams or for eyeglasses. And I wish no veteran had to wait for anything. But my focus has been that if you have an urgent problem, you can't wait at all. I don't care if you, I mean, waiting 3 or 5 days isn't good. You can't wait at all. That day, you need to be seen. Okay?
Absolutely.
And so we have taken the number of veterans waiting for urgent consults from when I first came to the VA at over 57,000 were waiting more than 30 days for an urgent consult. Totally unacceptable.
Yep.
To today, almost none, close to zero.
Interesting. And so that you will be, of course, judged on those promises.
Absolutely.
And we'll track those as we always have. We visit VA facilities and ask veterans all the time.
Well, we all want him to do well, and he's not going to institute his policy. Donald Trump has a 10-point plan, and he put it on his desk and said, okay, doctor, make this happen. Right?
And that's what I asked him about. And he said, hey, we're going to make it happen. We're going to try to hold people accountable. We're going to give the veteran a choice as opposed to the bureaucracy telling him what to do. And actually, tomorrow, I believe we're going to have another portion of the interview where we use the viewer questions that were here, some of which focus on some of the same issues. And we just asked Fox and Friends viewer questions straight to the Secretary. And he's forced to answer.
You had some tough questions there, though.
Well, you have to ask
How are you going to drain the swamp? Well, what if people fight
It's
back?
not as easy as saying, hey, I was voted for 100-0. You're going to get resistance.
Yeah.
What are you going to do and how are you going to fight back? And Donald Trump's already seen that. He's going to see the reflection of that in the VA space.
Well,
and
it's
it'll
good
be up to him
stuff,
to do it.
Pete. Great interview.